Well, welcome to the show. Rod, motherfucker, Rod is in the house. This will be the first time we do sign a kind of podcast style. So we can go ahead and want to talk about the Nevada BDR a little bit. Because there's along the Nevada BDR, I did a bunch of short little video on the whole trip itself, which you can see on the channel. Obviously, if you're watching the channel, you've seen the videos, or maybe you hadn't, but they're on there. All of them but Section 1. So what I came here to do today is kind of just, I don't know, talk about the Nevada BDR in detail, explain a little bit, and kind of go through here. We'll look at some pictures, some video. We'll look at the actual trail itself as far as on the map from the actual Nevada or the BDR website. We'll go along in it section by section, talk about each section, parts that I can remember that actually will stand out, whether I liked it a lot or I didn't. I think those would be the parts that probably stand out the most. I know I heard about some sections, but when I got there, I definitely experienced different things. So, I mean, obviously we're talking about nature, so the trail does change a lot because of, especially out here in Nevada, because you got a lot of washouts and stuff from the flash floods. So I thought we'd start it out by watching. I made a small video of Oatman, because the Nevada BDR starts in Oatman, Nevada, and then it goes up to Jarbidge, Nevada. Or either way, I guess you could start in Jarbidge and work your way south and end up in Oatman, Arizona. But I started in Oatman, Arizona because it's closer to Nevada, or closer to Las Vegas. I went there with my lady, and we spent the night there in a little cabin, and then the next morning I rode out. To be honest, I had video equipment with me and stuff. I had my drone and everything, but for whatever reason, I just did not record much at all. Or I think I had some video on the GoPro, but something happened to the files, so I lost that. But I didn't pull out the drone, so there wasn't really much video of the first section. So I have some pictures from key points along the way, and then I was just going to look at the trail map and then actually talk about a few of the points along the way, the points that I did really like, and then there was a couple sections that I thought were a little not, a little rough or a little, sandy or whatnot, just sections that to look out for. Anyways, without further ado, I think we'll watch this video and kind of talk about it a little bit. It was in August, obviously. Some cool scenery there. This is like a little drone footage of Oatman, Arizona itself. That was the cabin we were staying in right here. You can rent it at the general store. If you go to the general store or call them, you can get ask them and they will rent it to you. If it's available, of course. But this place was cool. There was a little saloon downtown. Had a bunch of dollars everywhere. The food wasn't bad. I pinned up $1 somewhere talking about the Nevada BDR starts here. I think I get a good shot of it on here for like a quick second. Obviously, when you're making videos in and out, Nevada BDR starts here. Downtown Oatman, which wasn't much, but there are mules, or donkeys. I don't know what they are. Probably mules, just kind of hanging out everywhere. We'll see them too. This is an old mine that they had open that you can go into and look around in. It was kind of cool. I mean, it didn't go far, but it was there. And you got, just plenty of picture opportunities, I'd say. A bunch of old stuff just laying around from the old mine and cool stuff. Old safe, the old jail. Just a bunch of stuff around there. At the time we were there was nobody else there. Everybody else had left. All the stores had closed. So we were kind of just walking around by ourselves, checking the place out. And she's feeding the donkey. They were cool. Took some drone footage. They had a couple cool little landscapes around. And then, that was it. The next morning, I headed out. I rode. Obviously, the first picture right there is that searchlight. So maybe we should go to the Nevada BDR. Let's go to the BDR.com and say we want to go to Nevada. So what we're gonna go to Nevada BDR, and we will get the map here. Let's make this bigger. See, first section, Oatman to Pahrump. Distance, 161 miles. The official start of the Nevada BDR is in Oatman. Oh, donkeys. Yes, donkeys. Yeah, we saw the donkeys. Anyways, we gotta get over here to this map here. See, we're right here. So we gotta zoom in. There it is. Oh, we're going the wrong way. We got to zoom in. We're going the right way. I don't know. Zoom back out. Oh, yeah, there we are. Got to go in a bit here. There we go. Anyways. It moves along. Woke up that morning, rode out downtown. Obviously, there was nobody there. So I just rode out. To be honest, in the first section here, when you go up and you turn off, this whole road here is just really wide, really maintained, all the way through here. I mean, all the way till you get back to the pavement. I'm not sure what the distance is, but you come up right here, bam, and come back up onto this pavement right here. This pavement section. And then that's when you come up and you cross the river in Laughlin right here. So this whole section right here, this is all pavement all up here. So you can ride that on a street bike or in your car. I mean, you could ride this whole first section in your car anyways, to be honest. That whole section was like 20 feet wide at points, just totally flat. Not really much to look at. I mean, obviously you cut through the mountains a few times, so there's a little bit, but it really wasn't much at all. And then you'd make this turn right here on Christmas Tree Pass. This information available, but you make this little right here, Christmas Tree Pass, and then you run up through here, and then you end up. This little section's kind of nice. It's kind of pleasant going along here. Then when you turn, I'm going back pages. What am I doing? I would be messing stuff up, wouldn't I? Need to go back, Nevada. Back to Nevada. Man, I'm killing me over here. We're already supposed to be up in the mountains. Ooh, we're going in. Okay. So Christmas Tree Pass. And then you make this left and you go up into these Newberry Mountains. Now all this place is this report section of the ride is really nice. Why do I keep doing that? Why do I keep doing go forward? I don't know why I keep messing that up. I guess because I've never done this before. This is my first time doing this. So bear with me, folks, as we dive deep into the Nevada BDR. And this is probably hella unorthodox. It's like nobody's ever done it like this before, but I guess that's okay, huh? It's the first time for everything. See, what I really want to do is find the places that were memorable that I didn't like or to watch out for, because most of this ride, this first section is nice, but it was just August. Now you gotta understand, in Southern Nevada in August, it's very hot. So I left at about 5:30 in the morning trying to beat the heat. So I was trying to be done as soon as possible because, by 10, 11, that's when the heat starts to kick in out here in Nevada, when it's hot. Actually, during any time of the year, that's when it starts to warm up. But during this part of the year, it's even worse. Just super hot. Anyways, you cut through here, these mountains right here. That's probably the best part of the first section. Is this part right here with when you pass by the Christmas tree that's decorated. That whole section is very, very pleasant. No real hard parts. The trail's pretty much maintained the whole way. There's a few rocky parts here and there, but you're in Nevada. It's going to be that the whole time. And then this section right here is just, like you can see, it's just pretty much a straightaway. Pretty much just a straightaway. There are a few soft sand sections through here, but they weren't bad. I was on a 450. I was loaded down though. I did have a bunch of weight on me. Then you hit this point right here, and then you're on the road. I did see some trail that was like, it looked like it went this way, right along there, and you probably could have did that this little last section in dirt, but I was just following the tracks for the Nevada BDR, and this is where it takes you right to the road, and then bam, then you end up in, don't go back, then you end up in Searchlight. No, we don't want to do that. We want to put that down there. And then that's when I took this picture here when I got to Searchlight, Nevada. You see how I'm way down. I got a bunch of bags with me, a bunch of stuff that I probably didn't really even need because I only did this one section and then went home. I jumped us ahead to the next point. Let's go back here. All right, when we're on the Nevada BDR here, then you leave there. You're on the road for a little bit. You make this left here. You come down, bam, then you're back in the dirt, right along here, and then you make this left. And I was wondering about this because you see this, how it jogs like this, down, up, boom, bam, 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 bam. You're basically going around this fence. I believe there's like a housing development or something around here, like a little trailer parks or something. And then, you come up here because I believe the trail goes like, bam, this way. It parallels this road. I believe there's a section that does that. But if you're following the Nevada BDR, it makes you come this way. And there's basically there's this fence right here. Like this chain link fence. And you just follow the chain link fence. It's like a softish kind of dirt. it's like a gray dirt. You just follow that, and then bam, you come up, and then you just follow in the basically pretty much parallel on the road for a little while. Then you hit this little bitty pavement section, and you're on the pavement again. I didn't see any trails like going through these two mountains, so you pretty much just gotta just follow this. You're on this pavement section, just going through the mountains right here, all the way till you hit Nipton, which is like an old railroad town. Which is right here. This is Nipton. It's a little trading post. There's a hotel there. I think they do have a few rooms. They weren't open when I was there. This is obviously like September 2021, so who knows what has happened to a lot of these places during all this madness that they got going on. So it's by the sign, Nipton. Oh, then that right there, that's at one of the railroad crossings on this next little section that we'll come to right here, which is when you leave Nipton, basically you just follow this train track. Yeah, you'll follow the train track like pretty much all the way to almost to Prim. Yeah, you follow it all the way to here, and then you cut across to Prim. But this right here, this for me is what I'm talking about. On the first section, this was probably the section that I didn't like the most. Of the Section 1 is between Nipton and Prim. Because this road right here that follows this, it follows the train tracks, and it follows the power lines or telephone lines, whichever one it is. And it literally is like this soft brown red soot, and it's just sucks. It just really sucks because it's not straight, it's not level, so you can't really go fast. Because if you could get some good speed going through the softer stuff, it makes it a lot easier. You know that if you're a rider. So just in this section right here, it just sucked. So what I did was, I just, once I started to experience how shitty this road was, as soon as I got the chance, I, got on right up next to the railroad tracks, which I don't know if you're supposed to do that or not, but I'll tell you what, riding on that, riding up there next to the railroad tracks was a lot nicer than trying to ride down on the actual trail with all that baggage and gas and all that stuff that I had. And I was just like, nah, it just was not fun at that point. You know what I mean? I was just like, nah, I'm going to get up here on this thing, and I'm paralleling the actual trail, so I'm going to be up here on this stuff, and if the train comes, I'll get down. But I didn't see a train. But anyways. And then we ended up in Prim. And Prim, hold on. Okay, I'm back. Still recording. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody's good. Okay, so followed the train track, made it to Prim. Believe that's where my next little photo is at. Do it for you 2020, Prim, Nevada. Huh? So Prim, got some gas in Prim. There's a bunch of people at Prim, obviously, because that's where the state line right here, Nevada and California is. So you're in California for a little split second there. And then after you leave there, you're on the pavement for just a second. You cross the street. over by this other little casino over here. And then what you do is you start heading north and you're paralleling the freeway for a little while. This section, I'm not going to lie, it looks straight and it's like, this whole way up here. But this section kind of sucks because it's really rocky. But it was kind of fun in another sense too, because it wasn't like there wasn't too many bends or stuff in it. It was just a lot of rocks, a lot of big rocks on the trail, like sticking out of the ground. Not like just on the trail where it could be moved off, because that's a whole nother story. But when they're just like stuck in the ground and they're just like, yeah, because you have to slow down a lot, obviously, and you got to do a lot more maneuvering, or when you are moving, you're banking and bucking off of the fucking rocks. It can be fun sometimes, it cannot be. Then you make this left up through the desert and you're following this power line road for a while. And then, bam, you make another right. You're following another power line road for a while. And then you make this left kind of up through these mountains, which this section is not too bad. It's pretty pleasurable up through here, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, and then you come up out of these mountains here, across this little canyon. You come up, and then you hit pavement. This is where you hit pavement, and then you come into Good Springs, Nevada. It's like they got a little bar here where they serve food and have drinks. If you're a biker anywhere in Las Vegas, you've most likely been to Good Springs, either through the desert coming from Mountain's Edge or from the street wise if you're on a street bike. Because this is where this next photo's at. This is, here at Good Springs, Nevada. So you can see a street bike in the back right there. They were actually having like some kind of biker meeting because there were a bunch of bikes in the back over here to the side, like in the back. Because I was sitting here across in this little shade, because this was like, one of the only little shade spots that was like right there that I could park under and sit under and relax for a little while and drink some water and have some snacks and whatnot. But yeah, this is the Good Springs. This is the bar back here. I think it's the Pioneer Saloon is what it's called. Actually got good food there. I've actually ate there many times. We will use that bar as like a turnaround point when we would ride from Mountain's Edge to Good Springs, and then obviously have a lunch or whatever, and then go back the other way. One time on the way back, one of the homies wrecked his KTM. He was riding a KTM 500, I believe, and ended up having to airlift him out. Thought he was like, oh, my back. And then ended up being like muscle spasm or something. So that one cost him a pretty penny for a back spasm. Oh, then all the way to Pahrump, huh? All right, well, let's go back here. Talk about that for a second, that little section for a second. So yeah, you leave Good Springs. And I've actually ridden this part of the trail a bunch of times. You come out around here. This section is really wide open, well maintained. Then you get up through this section here, and you're in the mountains. And this one's pretty good. It's well maintained. It's usually always well maintained. But then when I got to the downside, I believe it might have been just up through here, right here. In this section, it had been washed out or something like previously, like real recent to when I had been there. And this is August, because this whole road was just like cluttered with just huge rocks everywhere, and it was just, and you're going downhill, so it's like, yeah, it wasn't as pleasant as I had previously experienced on that side. And then you just end up coming down straight down this road, wide, super wide, well-maintained road all the way into, I think this is Sandy Valley. Yeah, Sandy Valley. So, and then by this time of the day, it's starting to get warm. So, and you enter this section here, which is like the last. It goes from Sandy Valley just straight through the desert right here to hit, and then kind of zigzag up into Pahrump, and that's the end of the section. But there's a couple things about this part of the section is this is when it was getting warm for me. It was in the summertime, August, and there is no shade. There is nothing in between here and there. I'm talking about nothing. So you have to have your own shade, prepared to be bombarded by the sun. And the only thing in it, and I'm not going to lie, the actual trail itself, because you can see it kind of squiggling around in here. Where is it at? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. This trail in here, this section actually wasn't too bad to ride. But the only thing I could say about it was, it was hot. And when I wanted to take a rest, it was like you're standing there in 105 degree weather, fucking no shade anywhere. You're trying to drink water. So as it gets to that point, you just keep moving. That's why I didn't stop. That's why I didn't put up the drone anywhere, I don't think, because it was just unbearably hot at all this time. One thing I can recall about this section is there was, if you're riding either direction, you'll come upon a section of red dirt. Beware. Because when I got to that section, I thought it was going to be like maybe hard, red clay, blah, blah, blah. This shit was soft sand. And I very well I was like a cunt hairs away from eating shit right here in this section. I'm not sure exactly where it's at, but this is out in the middle of nowhere here. It's, that usual brown or light tan dirt, hard pack. And then there's you'll see red dirt. Just beware. Slow your ass down, especially if you're on a big bike you choose your fate. I would slow the fuck down, because I hit it going kind of not fast, but faster than I would have liked to. But I was just lucky I was able to figure it out and not kill myself. But that was it. Then I ended up, you ride through there. There was a couple parts that I got thrown off the GPS trail. I think it was like around here when I don't know. I'm not sure where it was at, but there's a couple sections. It was kind of like, I got kind of confused on which way to go, but then I eventually got back on the GPS track and figured it out. And you end up at this gas station in Pahrump. You end up at a gas station in Pahrump, and then there's like a little ice cream place across the street. But then I ended up at Sonic to get a slushy with nerds. But that was section 1. You see there are my tracks. And then from there, obviously, I rode from Pahrump. I rode back to the house in Vegas. So that was like another 78 miles, I think. So it was 161 plus another 80 miles, that part of that trip. Went home. So yeah, that was pretty much section 1 of the Nevada BDR. Here we're at 30 minutes already talking about the first section. So maybe we should break this up into different ones. So okay, I guess that'll be explained in more detail. Section 1, Nevada BDR. I guess section 2 to come, which will probably be made directly after this one. It'll just be a video in itself, because I could probably talk for a half hour easy on each section of the BDR, giving explanations and telling my tale about it. Maybe you want to hear it, maybe you don't. But you can just watch the little quick video of, of what I did get on video of the rest of them, sections 2 through 6, because obviously I didn't have much video of the one, and the bunch of video I did have, I didn't put out. So, till next time.